You have no right with regard to this child. That's the law. Do not bother her again.
This is Judy Justice. Melissa Grayjack is suing her ex-husband, Adham Elabiani, for moving expenses, travel costs, legal fees, and harassment.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Case 3182, Grayjack versus Elabiani.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Grayjack, you were married to him?
Yes, Your Honor.
From when to when?
Short marriage from September 2014. Our divorce was finalized December of 2016.
And that marriage produced a child?
Yes, Your Honor.
That child was born in what year?
He was born in the fall of 2015.
This is an interesting case in an area that I'm somewhat familiar with. When your divorce was final, according to you, you got full custody of your son, correct? And there was issued at some point a permanent order of protection that kept your husband, Ibiani, away from you and the boy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who issued that order and when?
An emergency order of protection was issued in May of 2016, which was later, after a hearing, made a 5-year restraining order protecting both myself and my child.
You remember that order, sir?
Yes.
You remember that trial?
Yes.
Now, the 5-year order issued included the boy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have a copy of that order?
I do, Your Honor.
I'd like to see it.
The 5-year?
Yes.
Okay. So it was originally issued and then amended to the final 5-year.
Before I look at this, I just want to lay out the facts of the case. It is your claim that the defendant's actions by continuing to file cases against you is harassment and abuse of the system, and that because of his stalking and harassment, you've had to move, lost work, and his behavior by this harassment and stalking and multiple filings of multiple cases when there is no basis for filing is nothing more than really aggravated harassment. The defendant has a counterclaim due to mental distress and kidnapping his son. That's what his counterclaim is. Is there any decision other than this order?
So I have some decisions that were made later on as far as like our minute orders from hearings. I also have criminal protective order that protects my son.
I object, Your Honor. There's no criminal protective order that expired in 2020.
That doesn't make any difference whether it expired, sir. It existed. You, I understand. A court issuing an order that precludes a father from seeing his child, and this case gets more complicated because his parental rights were terminated. With his consent, he signed off on terminating his parental rights, and the child has subsequently been adopted by your husband. That puts the case sort of in context. Do you have your judgment of divorce?
No, Your Honor.
The judgment of divorce was 2016.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who got custody of the child? Was it joint custody?
No, he never. From day one, I've had sole custody, physical.
Physical and legal?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Is that correct, Mr. Rebbiani?
Yeah.
Now, you remarried in what year?
I remarried in March of 2018.
Do you have any children from that marriage?
No, Your Honor.
You still married?
No, Your Honor. That's what comes into play for the upcoming harassment that's been recent. We separated in December of 2021. Our divorce was finalized in May of 22.
Okay. So the person who adopted your son is no longer your husband?
Correct, Your Honor. But
Okay.
he's still the legal father.
I understand that. Did you remarry?
I get married next week.
And I see you're expecting.
Yes, Your Honor.
When?
Next month.
Okay. In what month and year did the defendant agree to terminate his parental rights?
February of 2022.
No, that's not correct. January 2019.
January 2019.
Yes.
Where was it that you actually, was it in a lawyer's office? Was it in a courthouse?
San Diego Courthouse, North County.
So you appeared before a judge,
Yes,
and the judge asked you questions.
correct.
And when the judge asked you questions, because I'd been there, the judge had to tell you that once you've agreed to terminate your parental rights, you are free from the obligation to support the child?
Correct.
Judge told you that? That you have no rights to see the child?
That's incorrect, actually.
You mean the judge didn't explain to you that once you terminate your parental rights?
I have here the adoption agreement. It allows me visitation time.
May I see? Okay. This is very clear, sir. It doesn't say what you indicate. It says, any contact between the boy and his cousins shall be arranged through the mothers. Future contact between the boy and the respondent or extended family members, respondent, that's you, may be arranged provided there is no restraining order or criminal protective order in place, and as long as desires and initiates such contact.
Correct.
Not you.
I understand.
And doesn't give you any rights.
Correct. But it doesn't specify who can be the custodian on that, and I ask the court for a guardian ad litem to make the determination.
You ask that of the court in what year?
October 2023.
And this agreement, which is a settlement agreement, was 2021.
Let's call it what it is. It's blackmail because...
I'm going to finish with this part of it.
Yes.
This agreement's 2021.
Correct.
And the last order of protection expired when?
I have a permanent order of protection.
For you?
And my child.
Is that here?
Yes, Your Honor. It's the final one from August of 2022, I believe. And when that termination agreement was signed, the criminal protective order
It's
protecting
2020.
only my...
Just
still...
a second. Would you ask her to just give me the order that makes it permanent in favor of herself and the child? Unless, of course, you acknowledge that there is a permanent order of protection.
I acknowledge it, ma'am.
Okay,
but
never
I'm not
mind.
acknowledging 2022.
Don't speak. I'm just saving myself a little time, sir.
Melissa Graycheck has accused her ex-husband, Adham Elabiani, of harassing her for custody of their son. Adham is countersuing, claiming Melissa forced him to give up his parental rights.
Okay, there is a permanent order of protection in favor of the plaintiff and the child, and you are the respondent.
Correct.
And it is a no-contact order.
Correct.
Okay, so this settlement agreement that you entered into, sir, says that any future contact with you may be arranged provided there is no restraining or criminal protective order in place.
Correct.
And initiates the contact.
Correct.
So there is a permanent restraining order in place. You have no right to seek anything with regard to this child. As long as that permanent restraining order is in place, there's nothing here that gives you any right to file cases.
Correct.
I'm just telling you.
Yes.
That's the law. That's what your settlement agreement says.
Correct.
You agree with that?
Of course.
And you would agree that you have filed multiple proceedings in order to see your son. How
One.
many?
No, Your
Only one.
He's filed 2 petitions in the state of Arizona and 1 petition in the state of California.
That's incorrect, ma'am.
I have a copy of.
I'd like to see them. You sure? 2 in Arizona, 1 in California, after your parental rights were terminated.
I filed to request that the restraining order be set aside.
Just a second. You said 1. She says 3. There's a difference. 1 and 3.
This is first Arizona, California, and second Arizona.
Two. That would be 3.
That's 1 hearing, ma'am.
Well, it would be 3. 2 in one state, 1 in another state. Where do you work, sir?
Oh, I'm self-employed.
Where's your office?
I have a home office.
Where's your home?
In Georgia.
Now, I'm going to tell you, you have no right to have any contact with her or your son. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Very good. And you did have contact, ongoing contact with her when there is a permanent restraining order in favor of her and your son to keep you away.
Correct.
You have a defense
Yes, ma'am, I do.
I'd like to hear, because what your defense here is that you were forced to sign a document terminating your parental rights.